All right, friends, it's T and I'm back, man, with a new video. It's on Johnny Shreve. He's doing a video with Mike Isreatel about, I don't know, about some lifting. Why can't build muscle with Dr. Mike Isreatel? Why you can't build muscle? Why you can't build muscle? Okay, let's find out. Somebody been watching my videos, I don't know, out there. It's been circulating. So this was posted 3 hours ago.
Bro, look at how people with good genetics do. They just...
Oh, look how good genetics they have. It's called the pharmacy. You go over there and you inject this genetic. Temporary cosmetics. This is so stupid. Look at these genetics. If a girl puts makeup on her face, does she have good genetics too? Fucking man, stupid shit.
do shit and it works. I have really good chest and tricep.
Oh, yeah, you have really good triceps and whatever, genetics and chest genetics. Bullshit, man. What you have is good steroids. This is so lame. This is such garbage. People believe this garbage.
Genetics. If you asked me a few years back what works for chest and tricep, I say everything as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. Now,
No kidding, because he's an endurance athlete now. Muscle takes on an endurance. It takes on endurance. It gets sarcoplasmic hypertrophy because it can't build muscle no more.
was fatter my sophomore year of college.
It reaches an MND size limit. This is dumb.
But my sophomore year, at the end of it, I cut down to like 190. My biggest,
I bet 190. I bet you if he went off those steroids, it'd all go away completely. Those fake muscles, those fake sarcoplasmic artificial muscles, bro.
was 270 on gear. Fat 270 or lean 270?
So crazy thing is, what is up and welcome back to the channel. I'm actually in Mike's studio, so thank you, Mike, for letting me use your studio to do my content on your property, in your house. The hospitality's been great.
Johnny, it's been great having you here, man.
How do you know if you've hit your...
How do you know if you've hit your genetic potential? How do you know if you hit your genetic potential? That's pretty simple. You want to know? Here it is. It's called an MND size limit right there, friends. You can pop this up in PubMed. Scroll down here. Right there. Look at the very top there. MND size has a ceiling limit during hypertrophic process, beyond which extra nuclei are donated by satellite cell to support further muscle growth. You want to know when you get that? See, it can't support. It's beyond where it can support it. You want to know how and when you get that? It's really simple. So you can see this in nuclei overload training. Everybody knows this. There's the famous map down here. See that? Nuclei overload. So you go way down here. Oh, there it is. Just passed it. Oh, did I pass it? I don't know where it is now. Oh, shit. There it is. There we are. So right there, see that map? That map right there, the famous map on there. Untrained, first training, satellite cell fusion, boom, hypertrophy. You get an infusion of these nuclei. They infuse and then your muscles can hypertrophy now because they synthesize protein. Without them, you can't synthesize protein. That domain does not move. I'll tell you why it's reached the domain size here at the bottom. It's not growing anymore. Muscles are post-mitotic. They do not split, divide, and increase in number. They reached an MND size at 15 when you were 15 years old. Now, the only time you bypass this MND size is when you come in untrained to the gym. Just like it says here. It says, in this model, myonuclei are permanent. Previously untrained muscles acquire newly formed nuclei by fusion of satellite cell preceding the hypertrophy. So what are these nuclei? What are they for? They synthesize protein. Without them, you cannot further that domain. Just like it said there. It can't support anymore. That's the only, you get newbie gains. You guys call it newbie gains, and you never gain them again. That's why they go on steroids, stinkoids. They take stinkoids, they take this kind of oids, that kind of oids. They take creatine oids, they take modulator oids, they take every kind of oid to build artificial muscles called sarcoplasmic muscles. It takes on a life of its own, get it? There's a secondary shift because now you're chronically lifting. And you're eating a herbivore diet because if protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown to build muscle, Why are you building muscle on protein? Why are you eating carbohydrates, herbivore diet? You think you can turn grass into muscle? You have to be insane. You're not a cow. You're a human. You're just going to absorb fluid inside the muscle. You're just going to carry around a bunch of fake weight.
Genetic potential. I have actually
You are a carnivore.
a decent answer to this, I think. I love this guy.
I see the comments. You guys say this channel should be at a
Man, did I just destroy these two or what?
million.
And I can bring up more info, but it's just not worth it for me.
Thanks. But guess what? Only 40% of you have subscribed, and only 9% of you have the post notification button on. So, do your boy a favor. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button so the next time I drop a video, you'll be the first one to get it. Appreciate you.
So you have to take a few years, and
Oh, I'm going to love this one. You got to take a few years.
you have to train diligently.
So you have to take a few years and train diligently. Did they not tell you this happened right away, untrained? Boom. Notice here when it atrophies, detrain, retrain. They call that muscle memory. There isn't any more muscle. They call it muscle memory. You were born with a set of fibers. Those fibers can only get so big, and then that's it. They can only hypertrophy so big. They reach an MND size limit. You understand me? An MND size limit. Beyond where the progenitor can donate any more extra nuclei to support further muscle growth. That's why you're all taking gallons of milk, eating herbivore diets, steroids, and all these weird fucking tablets and powders.
Diet diligently.
Think about it. You're all eating carbohydrates and everything. You're putting water in your muscles. You can't wait to get big. You just want to get big. I just want to get big. I just want to get big. Well, like I said, if protein builds muscles, why aren't you just eating protein all day? Go in the gym and eat protein. Be on a carnivore diet and eat protein. See if you're going to build those muscles. See if you're going to force that domain.
Purposefully try to gain weight.
Diet, diligently, like explain, because diet might
4 meals a day.
Okay.
Protein and
Yeah, 4 meals a day. And then he says protein. What are the 4 meals? Herbivore diet.
each meal the size of your fist. Some carbs, some fats.
Yeah, meal size of your fist. Some carbs, some fats. I thought protein synthesis needs to build muscles. Here, I gotta bring this up, man, because this is stupid shit, bro. If muscle is going to gain mass, protein synthesis must exceed that breakdown. So if it's going to gain any mass, it's got to exceed that breakdown. So why doesn't he just eat protein? Why does he need these carbs and all these weird things? Because you're an endurance athlete. When you start chronically lifting, it takes on a secondary shift. And you're building muscle in a gym now. You're getting for the pump. Watch. He's going to say something about the pump, I think, too. Watch. They always do. You don't get pumped on carnivore diet.
We're going 10 hours without eating unless you're
Protein does not pump your muscles up.
asleep. Being consistent day to day, week to week. Eating like someone who gives a shit. Like if we're out on the Jersey Shore in the summer and 4 hours goes by walking around, talking to hoes, maybe we got hoes in our group, we're both 18 years old. If I go and get what was it called? A gyro, whatever the fuck it is, and a side of fries, and a side of chicken nuggies. I pound that shit. There's protein, carbs, and fats. You're 18 years old. Live your life. Enjoy. But if
Protein, carbs, and fats, and ice cream. Yes, that's going to build a muscle. That's the carbohydrates are going to bypass the myonuclear domain size limit artificially, blowing up your muscles filled with ATP energy. Yeah.
if you're my man and you're with me,
You know the old saying, for every gram of glycogen, 3 grams of water are drawn between the skin and the muscle into the muscle, so you get these nice water muscles. Yeah.
and you say you're serious about this shit, but you just get an ice cream cone or a thing of cotton candy, and we spend another 3 hours walking around, you have no protein in your shit. I'm starting to be what the are you doing? So that is what I mean by consistency. Basic consistency. Get protein and calories in you regularly.
Yes, get protein and calories. That's going to magically bypass nuclear domain size limit. It's going to bypass it, yeah, even though it's beyond. It says beyond.
Train 3 to 6 times per week regularly.
Oh, you have to train 3 to 6 times a week. You have to train 3 times to 6 a week. For shit. 6 times a week, bro, chronically. Want to know why? Because you're an endurance athlete. You got to make sure that those fake gains stay in there from the carbohydrates. Yeah.
Try to gain some meaningful weight without getting too fat.
So gain weight, but don't gain muscle. Ah, this is a good one. Here's a question I have for you, Dr. Isreatel. How do you get over myonuclear domain size limit, you fucking brainchild, you?
If you do that for 2 to 5 years, at the end of that period, somewhere between there, your gains are going to start to kind of have an asymptotic relationship where they're not going to flatline, but they're going to slow down a lot. And then for the next couple of years, you can see if it's...
Yeah, they're going to gain, then they're going to flatline, this, that. No, nothing's going to happen. You reached it on your newbie gains when you first came in. It's done, it's gone, it's over.
Slows down even more, or if it just kind of keeps going on a slow line. If it keeps going on a slow line, we actually haven't found anywhere close to your genetic limit. And it...
Genetic limit? Because he's taking steroids. He's taking steroids because, what do you call it? The testosterone is binding with the androgen receptor, and the testosterone itself is drawing more of this glycogen in the muscle because it itself cannot bypass myonuclear domain size limit. Something you do has to bypass it. It can be bypassed. For example, a 500-pound man walking around, his body has to give at some point. It has to increase the size of the cell and the bone to carry that mass around because there's a gravitational loading, but it's a constant gravitational loading. But once he unloads, that gravitational loading goes back and he goes to homeostasis. You understand me?
But keep going. But at least you know you're not going to be hop skipping over there. So for example, if after 5 years you're like a muscular 165 and the last year, a year ago you were a muscular 160, you're not going to be 220 in 2 years. This is not going to happen.
I can tell all of you how to get these phony muscles, sarcoplasmic muscles. They're really easy, man. Here. I'll even bring it up what it is. So right there, when you're trained now coming in, high volume resistance training, train young men is largely attributed to what? Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. That is what it is. It is attributed to sarcoplasmic. So what is sarcoplasmic? It's an artificial muscle growth. That's all it is, bro. It's artificial muscles. Artificial. Just like it says there, artificial muscle growth. You train it for no other reason, for visually increasing the size, increasing the amount of water it can hold, fluid it can hold. That's about it, man. So there you go. It's easy to destroy these fake gurus. I can even tell you about strength. Myocytic androgen receptor controls the strength, but not the mass of the limb muscles. So what controls the mass? Well, a stronger ain't going to get you bigger. See what I mean? Here's another thing. So, people on my channel already know this. They're going to get bored, man. I'm just bringing this up for that. Myocytic androgen receptor controls the strength, but not the mass of the limb muscles. So getting a stronger is not going to get you bigger. Getting a stronger gets you more androgen receptors. Yes, your body compensates by giving you more androgen receptors because you're killing it. Lifting a heavy weight says, we're dying. And we can't give you muscle because you have to be carried through a famine. I guess the problem with all these gym slaves and lifting slaves like these people on this channel, they don't understand about the natural world, how the body works in the natural world. The body works the way it works in the natural world. You don't have control over that body. It still works. You haven't evolved. You can't build that muscle. It evolves the way it evolves. It is made that way for a specific reason. You understand me? So yeah. So getting a stronger is not going to get you a bigger. And if you did get bigger and you go, well, I didn't get a stronger, it's because you got that stupid phony muscles.
Because you don't ever
like I said, go on a protein diet. If protein builds muscle, why do you need to eat carbs in the gym? Why do you need to eat anything other than protein? If that's what builds muscles, protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown. So go build your muscles in the gym, bro. Get it? What's the matter? Oh, they're not building? Fuck me, man, because you don't have any more nuclei. It's not synthesizing shit.
If you're already dieting diligently, if you're already training basically well, there's not any big rocks to uncover.
This is a steroid channel, cosmetic. These are cosmetics. This guy promotes cosmetic. He's a cosmetic lifter. The anabolics give you a nice look on the outside because it shrinks the triglyceride in the skin, so he's dry. That's the only difference, and it tends to hold the glycogen in the muscle. That's what it is, because they're enhanced performing drugs. I'll explain this. Steroids do not build muscles. So when you do build your newbie gains and you come into the gym, right, and you get those newbie gains, like it said, they're untrained. What happens is it takes on a secondary shift because you keep coming into the gym chronically lifting now. So whether you're on steroids or off steroids, you guys are eating carbohydrates. And so it's absorbing into the muscle because it's an enhanced performing drug. It is not a muscle building drug. Do you understand me? But you can use a steroid to get an adaptation by lifting something exorbitantly heavy. You understand me? It is possible to go past it maybe once or twice, one more or two more times past MND size. But that's about it. There isn't much more there left. It's extremely, and I mean extremely hard to bypass MND size limit. So there you go. Now you understand why they call them enhanced performing drugs. You're loading glycogen, it's an energy source in your muscle, but you're loading it because you want to look pretty on a stage like these guys are pretty in public. And in fact, it's an energy source. It's used to enhance your performance. You understand me? That's why powerlifters say that bodybuilders, they're not strong. They're strong, but they're not lifting exorbitantly heavy weight. They're not focused on that because they hit an MND size limit. So they're focused on getting sarcoplasmic muscle. Their training is endurance training. And I could say that powerlifting training can be that too as well, somewhat. But their reps are very low. So they're trying to force the body to give them more of these androgen receptors, which are not responsible for the mass. That's why you say powerlifters are so small. Why are powerlifters so small if a stronger could get you bigger? You understand what I'm trying to explain to you? Because myocytic androgen receptor controls strength, not the mass of the limb muscles. Yeah, man.
Other than the needle,
hypertrophy. These hypertrophies have many meaning. They control the mass. It can be inflammatory response, lactic acid, a blood flow restriction, sarcoplasmic, myofibrillar, whatever, I don't know, fiber. It could be a bunch of things, get it? There's a lot of fake ones in there. It could be, I don't know, creatine, water muscles, modulators, more water. That's what happens.
Trend needle under there, you push that shit in. There's nothing there for you that's going to revolutionize your shit. And I think a lot of people...
Can you imagine this guy's going to the gym just to build phony muscles? So when they say we're building a muscle and we got a pump, that's what they're chasing, the pump. You don't get a pump on a protein diet.
Get caught up in the illusion that like, well, if I just like try 5x5 instead of like German volume training, I'm going to blow up. It's like, bro.
Yeah, if I try 5x5, I'm just going to blow up German. Yeah.
Look at how people with good genetics do.
Yeah, what he did was he pumped all that glycogen in there. It's like being in a penis pump, sucking the shit out of your penis. What happens? It gets swole. But then it goes away when you don't use it. The penis pump, the penis, it goes back to homeostasis. It's not gonna stay like that forever. Swole. I bet these people wish it would, but it's not.
Just do shit and it works. I have really good chest and tricep genetics. If you asked me a few years back what works for chest and tricep, I say everything as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. I just do this and I just do that. Yeah. I do 3 sets of chest and my chest is sore for half a week. Yeah. What? Yeah. I don't know.
He does 3 sets of chest and his chest is sore for a week. I don't know, man. I don't know what he's talking about. He's making stuff up. A week.
Anything then, right? So people who are genetically inclined, they're going to get their...
But his problem is he keeps working out. He keeps going to the gym often. He's a chronic lifter. He's fucking full of shit.
One way or another. Yeah. They won't get there if they're not consistent, if they don't eat well. Yeah. So because we've taken those two off...
Yeah, chips, that's it. That's more carbs, see? More carbs, man.
2 to 5 years into that, if you're gaining weight, you're gaining muscle, you're still on the ascent, your genetic ceiling is somewhere the fuck else. And the only way to find out...
Your genetic ceiling is not a genetic ceiling. It reached the ceiling limit. Hey, I like when he says ceiling, eh? It reached the ceiling limit, yeah. He says genetic ceiling. I call it MND ceiling, see? MND size has a ceiling limit right there. See that at the top? Ceiling limit. He says genetic ceiling limit. Now, he's lying to you.
About it is to keep going.
He doesn't want you to know the truth. Nobody does because they want to keep you as lifting slaves, gym slaves. They live off of you. They leech off you. They're like leeches. You understand me? They're leeches. You only gain this muscle as a newbie gain, and you never gain it ever again. Ever.
But the ultimate way to find out what your genetic ceiling is, getting to a point where you're gaining less than 2 to 5 pounds of muscle per year, and those are
2 to 5 pounds of muscle a year. Why would anybody want to go to the gym? The most you gained was 5 pounds or 10, maybe 5, 8 pounds of newbie gains in the beginning. I'd say 5 pounds.
tough gains. Like you might have a year where you seemingly kind of didn't gain any, even though you're going hard, and then a year where you gain like 2 pounds.
Remember, those fibers are so small. A lot of the cells that you see, they're microscopic. You know, they say, oh, I got some microscopic micro tears in there. Okay. You got some micro tear. Can you see it? Why is it called micro? Because you can only see it in a microscope. You understand me? It's so small. To see that growth, it's very little. It's like 5 pounds. That's it.
Pounds. That's close enough to your genetic limit, maybe within 10 or 15 pounds of.
I'm going to correct this idiot again. It's MND size limit, myonuclear domain size limit.
But that you can at least understand. So, for example,
You know, for a doctor, he's really stupid, man. You know that? It's incredible how stupid this guy, unless he's doing it on purpose because he's a scammer with this other drug addict over here on his right side, Johnny Shreve, a drug addict, just like Mike Isreatel. 2 drug addicts. It's crazy watching 2 drug addicts on here. I don't even like making these videos.
say you're 190 after 6 years of training.
These people make me so sick.
In the last 2 years, you only gained like 2 or 3 pounds at the same body fat level.
2-3 pounds at the body. 2-3 pounds he gained was fucking sarcoplasmic. That's it.
Could you eventually get to 205? Maybe? Yeah. Could you eventually
Of course, eat more of these stupid carbs that you keep eating and you'll get there.
get to 230 with the same similar body fat? Like on drugs, yeah. Drug-free is
A drug-free, you can do it too, but you'll look washed out a bit. You won't look so muscular, but you'll look massive. Just eat bowls and bowls of potato. They absorb the best. Because rice has arsenic in it. You don't want to eat rice. But potatoes, they absorb the quickest. Insulin does not spike with potatoes. The flow is very slow, and the absorption is very slow. So it's a very good carb to create these sarcoplasmic muscles.
just very unlikely. It's like, if you're like flying some kind of fighter jet or some shit, and you're trying to figure out its service ceiling, its maximum altitude that it can fly, which is similar to genetic ceiling, right?
My God, here we go with the genetic ceiling again. It's MND size ceiling. Christ, man, can you get it right? You're a fucking doctor, for fuck's sakes. Does he know anything?
By the time that you're at full thrust, nose pointed up, you're gaining like a foot of altitude every 2 seconds, and the plane is doing this, and you're at 50,000 feet, your service ceiling is not 70,000 feet. It might be 55,000, but it's not 70.
He's making up this shit.
It's not sure, not 100. But if you're at 50,000 feet going vertical, accelerating, I don't know, maybe you're in a spaceship and you're going the fuck out. So that's the thing with genetic ceilings is within 2 to 5 years for most people.
Holy shit, with this genetic ceiling, it's called MND size ceiling. It's called MND size.
They either keep going like that, the blacks. What do you mean by that? Or, I'm gonna get canceled for that one. We're good. Also good. It's also true. So, say the Jews. But if your shit kind of, so like when I started lifting seriously in high school, I weighed 100 pounds my freshman year, 120 my sophomore year, 135 my junior year, 160 my senior year, 180 my freshman year of college.
Look at his hair. It fucking fell out because he just went on drugs, man. Holy shit. Look how much he's aged. Jesus, steroids have aged the shit out of him, man. My God.
College, 200 my sophomore year of college. Now, I was fatter my sophomore year of college, but
Even there, man, you can see the age. He's just aging.
my sophomore year, at the end of it, I cut down to like 190.
Because the consistent going to a gym trying to chase something that has ended a long time ago due to MND size limit is ridiculous. It's stupid. It's redundant. Like this guy wrote me about Einstein. He says Einstein says that's just insanity to try to look for a different outcome. Doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome is insanity. It is insanity. That's why I laugh at everybody at the gym. That's why I do these videos. I call them lifting slaves, gym slaves, info slaves, scam slaves, diet slaves. Because There's a thing called repeated bout effect phenomena. Even I think, Einstein knew about repeated bout effect phenomena. Things stop working. Some things go a little bit longer, but they stop too eventually.
I had the semblance of abs at 190 at 5'6", drug-free. Yeah. That's 5 years of just continual fucking gains. Yeah.
Think about it. Why don't they just make the same cars forever, what they've been making in the past? Why do they have to make new models and things and all that? Why don't they just make the same model over and over and over again? The same houses all look the same colors, the same everything, the same clothes. You understand me? It would get very boring. You'd get familiar with it and it wouldn't work with you anymore.
I knew I was headed to
Nobody would go shopping.
be much bigger than that because it just kept coming. But there are guys in the gym, it's year 4. They did...
Yes, the fake games kept coming because he kept eating a herbivore diet, which increased his estrogen. That's why he lost his hair. He's feminized. That's why he's always talking about sexual things.
A lot of really good work, and they really put it in. And last year they gained 3 pounds of muscle. Unless you could Rubik's Cube that shit and solve some kind of click and then everything click, and all of a sudden you're 30 pounds bigger, it's highly unlikely. You got to understand, like, you got to be pretty fucking close. Again, you're on the joystick with a plane and just shaking, all the instruments are doing this, and you're like, oh, I got to get 30,000 more feet. Like, that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah. That's good, because I was thinking about you going over your history of your weight. I remember knowing, tracking, I gained 10 pounds every year I was in high school. I finished OAC, grade 13, at 185 pounds.
So you and I were roughly the same size.
Yeah.
Funny enough, now you and I are roughly the same size.
Yeah. And then the biggest I was, naturally, when I got to playing college football, was 24. I was 217. And then right now I'm 220, 225.
Yeah.
Off now, base back to where I started. But then my biggest I was 270
on gear.
Man, I got a picture in my community section. And my mom took it. Lucky I still have those pictures left. I don't know. You can see there in the picture, I weighed, I think the highest I ever got was 280, 285, 280 or something like that. And believe me, and that's natural, bro. I didn't do anything. I didn't do drugs or do anything like that. I literally went down, like you see my buffet videos that I had in the past in my old channel. I was eating like crazy at the buffet, man, for 3-4 hours straight. And I'd go home, still eat and keep eating. Back then, I didn't really understand how to eat properly because I would just constantly keep eating. I would just go across the street. It was late at night. I would down 3, 4, 5 donuts and 2, 3, 4 cans of Coke. It was just stupidity, a lot of it on my part, what I was doing, because I didn't understand. I just thought I needed energy to create this muscle. Now, how much was it of solid muscle? Can't tell you for sure.
Gear. Fat 270 or lean 270? So
I can tell you that I stay at a weight of 245. A solid 245 usually, always a solid 240, 245. I never go below that.
Crazy thing is, I've been 15% in my off season.
And I rarely lift weights. I mean, when I built my body in that picture, that was back in the year 2000 or something, 99, 2000. And I built it relatively very fast because success is a very short window when you want to build something. You don't spend your entire life there I'm going to build my body. It's going to take me 20 years. I have to keep going to a gym. No, man, that's unsuccessful. That is the lifting slave, the gym slave mentality. You either build it or you don't. And you build it however you can build it. So yeah, it's all relative, man.
4 decades straight. So I was 15% when I first started bodybuilding. In my off season, I was 220.
You can still load a lot of this glycogen in the muscle, even if you were to work out once a week. Even if you were to come out once a week working, you could still load this glycogen. So people mistaken that. You have more opportunity to load this glycogen in your muscle if you work out once a week because there is an open window for quite a while to keep loading this glycogen because I told you, it's endurance. It's based on endurance.
And then I keep gaining weight, and I was 15% off. So I was at 270, I was still 15% body fat.
That's dope. Yeah.
He had to take drugs to be 270 or whatever, man. I didn't take any drugs and I was 285. Yeah, man.
That's exactly what you would expect with pretty fucking good genetics. Yeah. And you kept making gains.
Yeah. Because I was a skinny kid. I'm an ectomorph. I was a skinny kid. You know what I mean?
There's guys too, their genetics are so capped out, even their gear response is capped out.
Again, that's bullshit about the genetics thing. I told you before, man, it's not genetics. These guys are taking steroids because they're lazy. They didn't want to eat bowls of potato. They want to look muscular and look good on a stage, on a show. They don't understand what they're building there. That's why they're so small. Here's the thing. They're not as big as they were before, but they're definitely on steroids. Mike's still on steroids. These guys can't stop taking steroids. If steroids could build if steroids could build a muscle, you get these nuclei, right? And you build a muscle. Then why do you need to take steroids anymore? If they build a muscle, then you don't need to take them anymore. Your muscle will be solid. It'll be protein, right? You take it, you build a muscle, and then you move on. So why do you have to keep taking it? Because it's cosmetic, bro. It has to maintain the fake muscles, because it itself cannot bypass myonuclear domain size limit. It itself cannot do that. An adaptation can, but it itself cannot do that.
Like 5 years into taking gear, and they're like...
In other words, it cannot create a nuclei. Satellite cells create nuclei, not steroids.
The gear isn't helping them grow much anymore. Yeah. And then what do they think to themselves? They got to take more gear. Yeah. And that might be an option, but depending on where you want to go and depending on the health trade-offs, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So it's a really, the roundabout, super 30-minute long answer can be condensed with just this. Try to go and be diligent for a few years. Yeah. If you're still making incredible gains after a few years, keep going. Yeah. If your gains are really starting to get tough, try to fix the problem. Yeah. We got some good stuff on RP YouTube channel, like troubleshooting tips from...
It's easy. Just eat a lot of potatoes and you'll overcome it. And you'll get more of these fake muscles.
Muscle growth for diet and stuff. Yeah. If you get through those and you're like, I'm kind of doing all these, just understand there's unlikely to be like a little crack the code type of situation. Yeah. So if you...
That sounds like Athlete Next. I have the secret to the code, the keys to the code or whatever. Cracking the code.
Your last year or 5 years of training, you gain very little muscle and you weigh 190. Yeah, you're...
They just don't want you to know the truth, man. They just want to keep you as a gym slave. I'll see you in the next one. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel.
Genetic limit is
Isreatel and Shreve, they're both phony, man. Two phony bodybuilders. That can work for you, normal people. See you later, man. I gotta go.